What if I told you that the biggest mistake of my life was not the night my brother disappeared, but the lie I told the next morning? If you think you would always tell the truth when it matters most, stay with me, because tonight you might question that. And before we go deeper, do me one quick favor. If stories that hit hard and make you think are your thing, tap like right now and subscribe to MindForge. It helps this channel grow, and it tells me you want more real stories like this. Now let me take you back to the night everything changed. My name is Daniel, and 3 years ago I had a younger brother named Eric. He was 19, loud, funny, and always chasing some new dream. That night we had an argument. It was stupid, the kind of fight brothers have all the time. He wanted to borrow my car to drive out to the lake with his friends. I said no. He grabbed the keys anyway. Words turned sharp. I said something I can never take back. I told him he was a burden. I told him no one believed in him. I watched his face change. He just looked at me like I had confirmed his worst fear. Then he walked out of the house. At 2:17 in the morning, my phone rang. A police officer asked if I was related to Eric Miller. My heart dropped before he even finished his sentence. They found his car near the old bridge outside town. The driver door was open. The engine was cold. The keys were still in. Search teams looked for days. Divers went into the river. Helicopters scanned the woods. Volunteers walked in lines through muddy fields. My parents held on to hope like it was oxygen. I held on to silence, because there was one detail I did not share. When Eric left the house that night, he did not take the car. He took my jacket and my phone charger. The police asked about our argument. I told them it was nothing serious, just normal brother stuff. I did not tell them what I said. I did not tell them how he looked at me. I convinced myself it did not matter. People disappear for many reasons. Accidents happen. Weeks turned into months. The case went cold. Our house changed. My mom stopped cooking big meals. My dad stopped watching football. Eric's room stayed exactly the same, like a time capsule. His sneakers by the bed. A half-finished sketchbook open to a drawing of a bridge over dark water. I moved out a year later. I told everyone I needed a fresh start. Truth is, I could not breathe in that house anymore. Every wall felt like it was asking me the same question. What did you say to him? I started working nights at a small warehouse. One night during my break, I scrolled through old messages on my phone. I will prove it. I had never replied. I drove out to the old bridge for the first time since the search ended. The road was empty. The river below moved slow and black under the moonlight. I stood where his car had been found. I tried to imagine what happened. Did he jump? Did someone pick him up? Did he walk into the woods? As I turned to leave, I noticed something carved into the wooden railing. 2 letters. I ran my fingers over them. My chest felt tight. Trees, desks, even the old fence in our backyard. I had never heard about this from the police report. Why was this not mentioned? The next day I went to the station and asked to review the case file. The officer on duty looked tired. He told me there was nothing new. There were photos of the car, photos of the riverbank, photos of footprints near the bridge. But there was one photo I had never seen before, a close-up of the railing. Not just EM, there were numbers under it. 3/17/11, March 17th at 11. That was not the night he disappeared. Why would Eric carve a date weeks before he vanished? I went home and searched through old calendars. March 17th was a Friday? At 11 p.m. I was at a party with friends. Eric had stayed home. I remember because he texted me asking if he could join. I ignored him. A heavy thought settled in. What if the bridge was not about April 2nd? My mom did not ask questions. In the back of his closet I found a small metal box. Inside were sketches. Drawings of the bridge, over and over. On one page he had written. My hands started shaking. I turned the page. Under it was another sentence. He said I was a burden. I sat on the floor for a long time, because this was not just about a fight anymore. This looked planned, like he had been thinking about disappearing long before that final argument. I took the box home and spent hours reading everything. Notes about wanting to reset his life. Another had job ideas under fake names, and then I saw it. A bus ticket receipt, dated March 17th, destination 2 states away. The relief that washed over me was almost cruel. He might be alive. But then anger followed. Why would he do this to us? To our parents? I went back to the police with the ticket. They reopened the case. No public announcement. They tracked the bus route. Security footage showed someone who looked like Eric boarding late at night. Hoodie up. I told him no one believed in him. 2 years after he vanished, I got a letter. No return address. Just my name written in handwriting I knew instantly. Inside was a single page, I am alive, I needed to leave. I needed to see if I could survive without anyone's shadow. I am not angry anymore. I hope you are not either. There was no location, no phone number, nothing else. I read it again and again. My first reaction was to run to my parents, but I stopped. At the bottom, almost like an afterthought, was one more line. You were wrong about me, but you were also the reason I tried. He did not disappear because I called him a burden. He disappeared because part of him believed it, and he wanted to fight that belief alone. I had decided not to tell my parents about the letter. Maybe that makes me selfish. Maybe it makes me protective. I do not know. What I do know is that for the first time in 3 years, I felt something other than guilt. I felt hope. I started changing my own life. I went back to school. I stopped hiding from my family. I told my parents the full truth about our argument. It was the hardest conversation of my life. My mom cried. My dad stayed silent for a long time. But they did not blame me. They said something I will never forget. We all say things we do not mean. What matters is what we do after. Last month, another letter came. This time there was a photo inside. Eric standing in front of a small auto shop. On the back he wrote, I am building something real. Tell them I am okay. My parents cried again, but these were different tears. Not heavy ones, like the weight of not knowing had finally lifted. I do not know if I will see him next year or in 10 years, but I know this, words matter. If you are watching this and you have something unsaid between you and someone you love, do not wait 3 years like I did. Pride is heavy. Stories like this are why I share my experiences here on MindForge. Not just for drama, not just for mystery, but because real life lessons hide inside moments we wish we could redo. If this story made you think about someone, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have not already, make sure you are subscribed, because the next story might be the one that changes how you see your own life. And wherever Eric is right now, I hope he knows something I never said enough. I believe in you.